Welcome everybody to CalGuard Gym in San Antonio, Texas. We are back after an extended break to present to you the University of the Ozarks Eagles versus the Trinity University Tigers women's basketball teams. It is an exciting day. It's a beautiful day outside. Beautiful day for basketball. Reed Rosales for the Tiger Network, joined by Annika Saenz. Annika, it's another new member of the SCAC coming down to San Antonio to play the Tigers, and a good one at that. Ozarks coming in with an 11-6 record, 5-3 in conference. Tigers got a test ahead of them.
They do, and I think they're ready. They're coming off of a 1-1 last weekend against McMurray and Concordia when they played them back here. It was kind of the same results whenever McMurray and Concordia played back here, but it should be good. Another eye-opening game. There's going to be a lot of adjustments coming out of this first quarter, seeing how each other plays. I know that there was actually a starting change-up that I didn't really notice until last weekend with Natalie Greenwood coming in for Skyerwork. So it's going to be interesting to see how this two big man play is going to go offensively and defensively, just making sure that, you know, driving offensive players into the paint where you're having two big players like Elaine King and Natalie Greenwood who are just dominant on defense. So we'll see what happens. I'm back here. I'm happy to be back here at home.
Almost underway here in San Antonio, just awaiting the tip. Elaine King going up against Naomi Smith. Official steps up. And we're underway. Pushed forward by King to Minter. Tigers win the tip. Thrown in to Natalie Greenwood. Kicked out. Napoli drives in. They work around the horn. Now inside. Back out to Napoli. Her three is up. No good. But saved by Elaine King, but in the hands of Delana Fisher. Ozarks. They were picked to finish 7th in the SCAC this year, but they have proven all expectations wrong. Had an excellent year. A bit rougher in SCAC play, but still a team that the Tigers are going to take very seriously. Ball turned over. Minter's up front. And one for Kylie Minter.
Kylie Minter, just great finish. Good push pass, by Josie Napoli to get it up to her. They're both coming off of a great week, points-wise. Josie Napoli, both of them in double digits. The first game, Kylie Minter, I think, finished with 21. And then in the second game, I think 12 against Concordia. But, I mean, it flip-flopped with Josie Napoli, I think, having 27 points against Concordia and really just leading them in double-digit points. I think Natalie Greenwood was also one of those players that was in double digits against Concordia. But we'll see if that performance kind of carries on tonight.
Kelsey Brown passing it back up to Lily Garcia. Back down to Delana Fisher. Abby Bean. Brown, they work it to the corner. Three is up and good. Lily Garcia, the junior out of Red Oak, Texas, scores the first points for Ozarks.
That was just a hard defensive position for the Tigers. It kind of got Bailey Timmons in a little 2-on-1 action with that wing and corner. But I haven't really seen him play a zone coming out of the first quarters in a long time. So that's an adjustment by Cameron Hill.
Throw it to Greenwood. Her shot off the backboard out. Ozarks looking to take their first lead of the game. Bean goes up. Now pass back into Bean in the paint. Able to beat her defender. 5-3.
We have Natalie Greenwood headed up top at the top of the key. Kylie Minter with a magical pass to Bailey Timmons out to that left wing. Couldn't connect it, but it's collected by the Ozarks. Here we go, they hit the middle, coming out of that right side. Can't finish it, second chance opportunity for the Ozarks if they catch it on that left wing. Attempted Euro step, but collected by Elaine King. Right moment at that right time as always. See Kylie Minter try to connect the pass to Natalie Greenwood. Natalie Greenwood try to hit it off of an Ozark defender, but couldn't get it in those last moments. So Ozark ball, taking it out. 2.5 minutes in, basically. And looking to see Trinity kind of extend what looks like their press into this little 3-quarter moment. Hard defense by Josie Napoli and Kylie Minter. But Jaslyn Marsh connects in the paint. You see Kylie Minter bring it up here. She calls for a little horn set. Comes off of Elaine King, hitting Natalie Greenwood. Obviously to Elaine King in the middle, who's kind of like a little facilitator. There's a shot by Josie Napoli on that right corner. They're gonna call a foul on Natalie Greenwood as she was trying to reach for that ball. That'll be her first. That'll be Jaslyn Marsh taking it out in what looks like a Trinity extended zone defense. First of we've seen tonight. Kind of their bread and butter. Good contest by Bailey Timmons. And that catches some airmail, obviously collected by Elaine King. Push up the floor by Kylie Minter. Given to Bailey Timmons at the top of the key, takes it down to that left short corner. Kylie thought about it for a second. Good shimmy shake against her defender, got her on her right hip and finished strong with that left hand, and they're right back into their press.
Ozarks looking to bounce back. Last weekend they went on what is pretty much the toughest road trip in the SCAC, going to St. Thomas and then having to fly to Colorado to play Colorado College at their place. Didn't get a win out of that weekend. They're looking to bounce back with a big win against the Tigers if they can.
Still a lot of time left in SCAC too. I mean, it feels like a long stretch too. There's like 6 or 7 games that are still left right before the tournament. And it's gonna be a little hard too because after the Ozarks and Centenary, they're gonna be going back to back against, I think it's TLU first, and then they're gonna go to Southwestern. Obviously come back here to finish out that flip-flop.
For Ozarks, just trying to make the SCAC tournament. Top 3 teams from each division make it. We are exactly halfway through the SCAC season up to this point. Want to get the second half off on the right foot. See Ground looking for a teammate. Passes it up to Fisher. Now inside to Smith. Back out. Ground loses it for a moment. But they're able to find one of their teammates. Bean pulls in. Shot clock goes. Should be shot clock violation because it didn't touch the rim.
That was kind of a late whistle. I didn't know if that ref was going to call it or not. But we're going to go into a timeout with just under 5 minutes left. Yeah. I think there's been great defensive efforts on both sides. It's been nice seeing Natalie Greenwood and Elaine King kind of play off of each other, that little high-low moment. Obviously, both of them are pretty good at kind of sucking in a lot of defense into the paint and kicking it out. There's been open shots. They just haven't gone in for the Tigers.
Now I'll send it down to our man on the floor, Caleb Reed. What are you seeing in the first 5 minutes of this one?
Well, guys, so far it is an absolute pleasure to be back. It feels weird to be saying this here in January, or up here in late January, but Happy New Year to everybody. We haven't seen you guys since the new year has kind of kicked off really the new school year. This is the first time that Trinity has been back at home since January 12th. First time that they have been home here with students since the home opener of the season against UMHB. But in terms of that very long road trip that Trinity took, Coach Cam Hill, just a few feet over to my right, said it was a great experience. Everything matters a lot, but it is always great to be back home. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Caleb. It's good to have you back. One of the players that the Eagles are going to be going to quite a bit, I imagine, is Naomi Smith. Smith is by far the star for the show for the Eagles. She was last year's ASC Newcomer of the Year. And she's recorded 11 double-doubles in the season so far. She had a 19-rebound effort against Principia, which I think is the Eagles' best win so far. She ranks 16th in the NCAA Division III currently with 11.6 rebounds a game.
Wow. I kind of love it whenever we kind of go into deep dives of stats for some players, just because I know I really like to see some well-rounded people, especially when you talk about double-doubles. Like, that's just not something that happens naturally. I mean, unless you're talking about Maggie Robbins. But I don't know. I just really enjoy hearing all the stats that come in and out of this game if you look at it from a numbers game.
Minter put up a last-ditch effort shot. Good defense by the Eagles.
You go tit for tat for a 30-second call. We have Ivory Scott coming in for Natalie Greenwood. And it looks like they're kind of switching it up right now. They may be going into their man press. It's usually what happens whenever we see Bailey Timmons or anybody else at that 3 position guarding the ball and bounce.
Defense broke down a little bit there. Easy points for the Eagles. Ground was able to score the easy layup. Minter drives in, trying to find O'Rourke. Has to go to Napoli. Her 3 is up and in. Josie Napoli coming off that 27-point performance. She wants more.
She does, and that was a great offensive possession with Kylie Minter heading into the paint, having great body control, and obviously finding Josie Napoli on that right wing.
Napoli gets the pass from Scott, kicked back out to Minter on the straightaway. She backs up to the Tiger head. Passes to her right to Timmons. She passes to her left to Scott. Now they go up the horn. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Tigers. O'Rourke will drive in. She pierces the paint, can't score. Ball is in the hands of Smith. Or Fisher, rather.
Even though that last offensive possession didn't go down for them, I still feel like already within the first, 7 minutes of this game, the ball has been moving a lot better. There's been 4 or 5 passes minimum within each possession. And obviously, I think they're just getting better shots up.
That was a good shot. A swish, 13-8. A long pass by the Tigers. Momentum carried Scott out of play, so she had to pass it in. But Smith was there to collect the ball. Naomi Smith. Down goes Ground. Goes to her left to Marsh. Nice layup from Marsh. Ozarks starting to take a little bit of a lead on the Tigers.
Feels that as soon as the Tigers went into man, they just really been attacking the basket, especially with people like Natalie Greenwood out and Elaine King out. They have nobody truly kind of just guarding the basket, just kind of forcing them to go into the paint just to bait them to shoot in front of people like Natalie Greenwood and Elaine King. But they're just attacking the basket right now because they're just in man.
Napoli's deep 3 didn't go. Ground works to her left. Ball's tipped up into the hands of Naomi Smith. Ultimately a turnover to the Tigers. Inside to Timmons. Muscles her way in and scores.
That's when you do one of those little backpack moments. That was all muscle. Good body control by Bailey Timmons. And honestly, going back to that last defensive possession, I felt like everybody rotated perfectly. Even on the backside, Ivory Scott was there as soon as that ball was put into the air. And she, I feel like, was a big part of that last steal. Obviously into a conversion by Bailey Timmons on that left block.
Tigers on the road. Went 3-1. They collected wins against Dallas, Austin, and Concordia. They dropped their second game against McMurray. Trinity really looking better and better as the year goes on.
Yeah.
That game against Concordia kind of showed maybe a bit of a turn of a new leaf for the Tigers.
Yeah.
They got Natalie Greenwood tons and tons of chances with her in the starting lineup.
No, most definitely. And I feel like she's really starting to find her footing. We talked about this earlier in the season about not wanting to hit your peak so early just because, you want to start playing your best towards the latter half of your conference season and then potentially into postseason with the tournament. And then if you want to go deeper into that, if you win the tournament or get a bid, obviously, into the national tournament. But I think they're, like you said, turning a new leaf. Obviously, you want a confident win. Obviously, happened against Concordia. And we're going to see what happens out of this. With Ivory Scott taking it down the lane from a full steal. She's one of those people, too, that I've just been kind of enamored by this season. She's kind of started to feel like she's coming into herself as a player, confidence-wise. Had a good freshman season, but is definitely more of a significant player this season.
Savageau able to take the ball on the attempted pass inside of the arc. Jalen Martin splits her defenders, but can't finish the job. Ozarks only up by 3 now. Less than a minute in the first quarter. Tipped by Martin, but in the hands of another Eagle. Corner 3 is up and good. Big corner 3 for Lily Garcia. She started the game with a 3, and that might be the end of the first quarter for Ozarks offensively with the 3, as they can get down quick. Shot by O'Rourke, rolls off the rim, and Ozarks is going to slow things down. It's like they might be content with attempting a last shot. Driving in, too much traffic. Savageau, less than 3 seconds. She drives, it's up and in. Livy Savageau with the buzzer beater.
She's had a couple of those this season, and at home, we've gotten to see a lot of them. Obviously knew how much time was left on the clock. I think she caught it with 3 seconds at half court. Knew that she could get all the way. Good little flip up. They're going to check to see it no matter what, just because obviously that's what they do anyway. But we'll get confirmation about whether that went in. I'm pretty sure they're going to count it. That was a great finish, even though there's only a 4-point deficit. I felt like that last lineup that he just had in, a lot of those people defensively are a big reason why early on in the season we got some leads. I know we're talking about the Illinois Wesleyan game sometimes, they're the #3 team in the nation. But I remember that exact lineup pretty much got them back into the game in that second quarter because just of their defensive efforts. Talk about people like Ivory Scott, obviously Jalen Martin, Livy Savageau, who's another freshman that I've just thoroughly enjoyed playing this season. Big part of that too.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention that Jivy Caceres got on the court as well.
Oh yeah, sorry, another
quarter.
freshman, Jivy Caceres, a great player. She's been fun to see, has a lot of swag when she plays, and they're actually going to come back into this second quarter, something that is a little new for Cameron Hill. He usually likes the starters to come back into each quarter, but happy to kind of see this little change going on. Let them get their footing, get a rhythm while they're playing. Obviously, Livy Savageau just came off of a nice little buzzer beater. Want to see her get her footing coming into the second quarter, see what they can start up. It's nice to see, a defense that needs to figure out what to do when different players are on the court. Scouting is a big part of this game, and it's hard to scout a lot of people when you've got players, deep down that bench.
Caceres shovels it back out to O'Rourke. Now Scott trying to spin around her defender. A kick back out. The 3 is up. No good, but offensive rebound by O'Rourke. Savageau takes an open 3. Off the rim. Ozarks on the move again. Find themselves up 18-14. I think that was a close pass. Ball's loose. It'll be Tiger ball.
For a second there, I thought they may have called tip, but that was a good little risk taken by Livy Savageau as the Ozarks kind of just threw it away. I think, honestly, we're set up in a 1-3-1 zone defense right now, if I'm not mistaken. Something that's also pretty new. I feel like everything changed within the week that we weren't here.
O'Rourke scouts things out, then passes to Martin. Now back to the straightaway to Savageau. Almost took the 3. Back out to Savageau. Her 3 is up, no good, too strong. Foul will be called.
Great job by Sky O'Rourke trying to collect that board. That last possession too, she collected an O board as well. Obviously drew that foul. Now we're gonna take it down on that right block.
Caceres gets it into Savageau. Quick shot is up, no good. A second attempt by Caceres, also no good.
Sky O'Rourke's gonna pick that one up. 94 feet away from the other basket.
They're applying a lot of pressure to Garcia.
I know.
I don't think Caceres actually got a hand on it for a moment.
Yeah, for a second there, it looked like the possession of the ball was, yeah.
After a little pause, Garcia inbounds it. A little over a minute gone here in San Antonio in the second quarter.
Talked about earlier today, beautiful day outside. We have the fan jam for the NCAA men's Final Four that was out there this morning, or excuse me, this early afternoon.
Say, Cáceres stepped out of bounds. Ozarks ball again. Garcia passes it back down to Marsh. To Garcia again. Oh, up to Fisher. Fisher spins around, drives in, back to Smith. Naomi Smith, short jumper, no good, but she gets her own board. That one goes in on the second chance points. Savageau, quick three is good.
Great shot by Libby Savageau early on in the shot clock, but when you're a shooter, you're gonna shoot with confidence and without any inhibition. Kind of knew that one was gonna go in as soon as she got her feet set.
Long three attempt from Fisher didn't go. Tigers are working quick again, right up the middle, foul drawn. Sky O'Rourke will head to the line.
Good take by Sky O'Rourke. No one really picked her up early on in that paint, and she just kind of took it strong.
The Savageau's three, that's just kind of, we're not going to lose pace.
Oh, no. No. I'm only down by 3 right now. Sky O'Rourke can make it 2 points right here, make it a 1-point game.
Bounces out. Angle just a little sharp for O'Rourke. That one goes. Still a one-possession game in Calgard. Ozarks gets it across the timeline. Ground. Works in the arc. Gets the pass to Naomi Smith. She drives through a bunch of players, loses the ball. Fisher shot didn't go. Now we're working the Tigers. They're running. One-arm shot didn't work out so well, but a tie ball. So Eagles will maintain possession. Possession arrow will flip. O'Rourke was quick to grab the ball.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. I mean, it was a strong take. I think she just needed to finish that, especially when she got her on that left shoulder. But I think what's keeping them in this game right now is their defensive efforts. This 1-3 run is working out well, especially with, who is that? Naomi Smith. When she catches it at that high post, you want to make her a decision maker and not just a scorer specifically. So it's putting her in a little bit of a predicament, you know, to shovel pass it off to somebody rather than just going one-on-one.
Martin's three. It looked like it was going to go in, but it bounced out. Bad pass. Goes out of bounds. Trying to find Fisher, but Marsh's pass was a bit behind.
Possessions coming in for Trinity as the starting 5 are back in. Obviously, Josie Napoli, Kylie Minter, Bailey Timmons, Natalie Greenwood, and Elaine King. It's been funny, too, seeing this offensive sets. I know Elaine King is a great decision maker. I call her another point guard on the team because she makes such good decisions at that high post and top of the key area. She's kind of extending out, too. We have like a 4-round-1 moment going on with Natalie Greenwood kind of working around.
Minter outside the arc. Passes to her left to Josie Napoli. To the corner to Minter. Goes in, but kicks it back out. Timmons doesn't take the deep three. Backs up. Tigers trying to find an open shot. Timmons to her right to Napoli. She works to her left at the top of the key. They find Minter alone. That one goes. You can't leave her alone or else Kylie Minter's going to score.
That was a beautiful offensive possession. I know they started out in their little motion that they've kind of introduced this year with the 5 coming out to the top of the key and either giving a handoff or just being that facilitator. But obviously, great job by Josie Napoli kind of collecting herself, making sure that it was a jump stop, got her defender, Kylie Minter's defender to kind of collapse on her, and then obviously found a wide open Kylie Minter who's definitely, you know, splashing it as soon as her feet are set.
Foul called. Free throws will be on the way for University of the Ozarks.
It's fun seeing our hecklers back into the gym. Student section's going to be pretty full for today's games. They're probably going to trickle in for the men's games as well. As kind of how it goes whenever the men play second. but it'll be fun having him back too. We have the cheerleaders on our left side too.
21-21. It'll say 21-21. Fisher goes 1 for 2 on the trip. Timmons hands it off to Greenwood. To Napoli. Napoli within the arc. Tries to get it to Timmons. Had to be a little Tony two-tap to stay in bounds. Oh, they find King, kicked back out to Minter. She does it again.
Wow, just absolutely wow. I don't think you can talk more about a great offensive possession than that. I think they just topped their other one right before that with Kylie Minter's 3 from that left wing. But, I mean, y'all saw what just happened. I don't know if I need to give a specific recap, but I think a point of emphasis for that last possession was Elaine King finding great position, had her defender on her back, obviously knew that Kylie Minter's defender was going to come down, you know, on that baseline area, and Elaine King just being her player that she is.
Great defense by the Tigers. Ozarks could not find an open shot, which forced the middling shot selection from Naomi Smith. Napoli works her way in, kicked back out to Minter. Now she splashes the paint a little bit. Back out to Napoli. She doesn't take the 3. She's spinning around. Wow, she found Greenwood. Excellent pass. Shot doesn't go, but it is saved by the Tigers. Timmons up for 3. Off the back of the iron. Well, it's a bit loose. Foul will be called.
It's kind of a quick whistle, in my opinion. Probably shouldn't say that, but it was my opinion. That was kind of a quick whistle for sure. You just saw that there was 3 white jerseys and kind of knew that there was going to be a quick call. But it'd be good. Lead by 3, heading into a media timeout with 4 minutes left. I think they're adjusting quite well on defense and offense. You know, it's always fun when you're making 3s left and right, but they'll find themselves adjusting too. I'm sure that the Ozarks are going to come out with their adjustments as well.
We'll go back down to Caleb Reed. Caleb, what you got for us?
Well, guys, during the last quarter break, I got to kind of sit in on the bench, kind of talk, or listen in on what Coach Cameron Hill was saying, and the very first thing he said, the way that we ended that quarter, the defensive intensity was exactly what we needed from you guys. Make sure to keep that energy up, especially off the bench. That is the big reason why, Annika, I remember you were kind of confused why the starter didn't come back in. He was incredibly happy with how the players off the bench performed at the end of that quarter, wanted to keep them in, wanted to keep that momentum up, and so far it has resulted in a Trinity lead.
Thank you, Caleb. Coach Hill very clearly happy with the performance of the second unit near the end of that first quarter. I think a lot of reason to be.
Most definitely. I mean, they came out with some great, obviously some momentum carrying off of those starters, but just came in with a head full of fire. Obviously pretty eager to go out and show what they can do in those last couple minutes and earn coming out into that second quarter, obviously playing with defensive intensity. I'm always a firm believer that defensive intensity will often lead to offensive success, and that's exactly what we saw. And this led to the momentum change that we have now for the starters coming back in.
It's going to be an interesting situation for the Tigers. Only 4 fouls committed by the Tigers, but 3 of them were by Greenwood. So Greenwood already at 3 fouls. Ball gets turned over back to Trinity. So might not see Greenwood for a portion of this game to conserve her play time.
I know. I feel like would just still go back down to, I don't want to call it small ball just because you still have Elaine King, but you're having a player like Ivory King come in substitution for her, and she's just great. She can really guard anybody on the floor because she's so aggressive.
Timmons' shot doesn't go, but Ivory Scott with the board. Tried to get it to Timmons, but instead it ricocheted off of an Eagle, specifically Bean.
That was one of those things where if you catch it at that right block, instead of taking 1, maybe 2 dribbles, you know, because she's a guard too, she has the ability to dribble it out and maybe get it into a regular offensive set because it was a shot clock reset anyway.
Shot from ground, no good from beyond the arc. On the court for the Eagles is Ellie Garcia. 5'9" junior. Shot from the elbow, rattled in, out, and back in for Bailey Timmons.
That was just a rhythm. Little 1-2 pull-up jumper from Bailey Timmons. Little shooter's bounce too.
But trying to find a player in the corner. Man, what a save from
behind
Bailey
the back.
Timmons. Very impressive. Napoli, the far lane, finds Timmons. She drives in, little Euro action.
Perfect.
That was a Bailey Timmons trademark play.
Wow. That was a great little, let's see if she can chain anything else. She had a little midi, and then she got the defensive steal behind the back, and then obviously another great finish.
Tigers up by 7 for being down for a bit of this game. A really deep three doesn't go. Attempt by Bean leads the Tigers to the other side of the court. Minter hands it off to Napoli. She works to her left, trying to get past Lily Garcia. Goes up the arc to Kylie Minter, trying to direct traffic, but defers it back down to Napoli. She drives inside, avoids the swipe. Timmons, her shot goes.
I just want to say I called that. Bailey Timmons, wow, just absolutely kind of blasting through this, giving them a 9-point lead. Wow.
16-1 run for the Tigers for the past 6.5 minutes.
I think what's just helping them so much is they're just changing a lot of their defense. I know that they started out with what looked like a 2-3, went back into a 1-3-1, have pretty much stayed in zone. I think they touched man for a second, so it's kind of hard for the Ozarks to get, you know, a rhythm about what they're doing defensively.
Minter up to Napoli. She takes the three. Hard bounce off the rim. Saved by King. Napoli again. Sometimes it takes a second attempt, but Napoli gets the points all the same.
Wow, the Ozark coach just looked kind of at her bench and just shrugged, like, I don't know what to tell you. That's an offensive rebound. Obviously, second chance opportunities are really difficult, and they're really going to come back and bite you whenever you have a great shooter like Josie Napoli pretty much having another wide open three on that left wing.
Ball was loose on the floor for a moment. Shot doesn't go.
Wow, blocked by Elaine King. Nothing new.
That's block 34 for Elaine King on the season.
Do you know where she is, like number-wise?
All time?
Yeah.
She's getting up there. I'm not quite sure specifically where she is on the career list, but I just remember I checked her stats. I was like, oh my goodness, she's like 33 blocks. I just said like 3-block games, 4-block games. Like,
yeah.
She
Her
has
highest
been,
one was what, 8?
Yeah, she had 8 in one game against.
Where was it? Was it
Claremont
California?
Mudscripts.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elaine King kind of having one of those sneaky good seasons that she usually has. That three rattles in for Kylie Minter. The Tigers cannot stop scoring right
I
now.
think that's her third run of the night.
A 22-1 run. In the corner, Ozarks doesn't have a shot clock, so they can elect to take the last shot. Trying to drive in is Marsh, kicked back out. Three is up from Bean, no good. That is the half.
Wow.
A 22-1 run gives the Tigers a 36-21 lead. Annika, what did you think of this first half?
Wow, I think a lot of it's coming off of the defensive intensity that the players that came in at the end of that first quarter really started as they came into that second quarter, obviously finding their footing defensively, and then I ultimately always think that defense really ignites offense, and when you're making shots and finding good offensive rhythm, obviously getting 4 to 5 passes in before shots even, you know, decided to be taken, that's a big part of the reason why they've collected this this big lead. I think another big reason is second chance opportunities. I know rebounding game, we're leading by 4 right now, but wow, are we blasting through that 3-point percentage. Obviously, Kylie Minter leading with those 3 threes. I know Livy Savageau's got one. Josie Napoli, I think that's her second one. But yeah, they're really kind of connecting on all cylinders right now. Happy to see that the adjustments by Natalie Greenwood stepping out with 3 fouls, and obviously Ivory Scott coming in. She's just a great defensive player, pretty sound fundamentally. I mean, it should be a good second half to see what the Ozarks do to adjust. But those are my thoughts, and it should be good. It should be a fun second half as they're leading into the men's game. And we'll see you in a little bit, about 13, 14 minutes. But come back.
that next incremental step, to do the hard work that changes. Set in our preparedness and confidence in that moment when you know, I've got this. And then we rise. Each of us, all of us. We rise as passions coalesce in research, art, athletics, and beyond. We rise to the challenge of inquiry and discovery through undergraduate research and hands-on learning. We rise through the personal attention of a small college fueled by large university resources. We rise to the need for listening across differences, teaching the art and the act of conversation. We rise to the sounds of a vibrant, diverse, and culturally rich city, and we reflect it. At Trinity University, we recognize that you are here because you are ready to rise. And through a love of learning and a life of learning, we will challenge you to always reach beyond the horizon. Because your future awaits.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to San Antonio, Texas, where the Trinity University Tigers, the ladies, currently leading 36-21 against Ozarks at the moment. Got to speak with Trinity's assistant head coach John Franklin as they came out of the locker rooms getting ready for the second half. And the very first question I asked, Trinity went on a 22-1 run towards the end of that second quarter, end of the first half. And I asked him kind of what was the catalyst for that. And he said the bench brought so much energy. Starters came in and started following along. And kind of the analogy that he gave us, Coach Cameron Hill always likes to give movie references during his post-game pressers. Coach Franklin kind of said the same thing. He mentioned Floyd Mayweather, who as a boxer doesn't really come alive until the fourth or fifth rounds. Once they figured out the game plan, they knew what they were doing. But one player who we really highlighted off the bench, Ivory Scott, the sophomore out of Waco, Texas. 2 points so far today, 2 steals and 2 rebounds. but she is not a number 2 at all. She is actually one of the big catalysts in terms of bringing energy off the bench, not just in games, but also in practices. According to Coach Franklin, he mentioned kind of the infectious energy has really kind of made it that big run that we saw at the end wasn't a surprise to the coaches at all. And finally, of course, this is the first time that we have gotten to see these Tigers in front of fans in 2025. Finally back at home, and Coach Franklin said the road is really great. It kind of allows them to be close together as a team, but nothing really beats getting to play at home in front of your home fans. Guys, let's get ready for a good second half.
Thank you, Caleb. And a good second half is what the Tigers are hoping for if it ends anything like that first half did.
Yeah, one of the stats that Garrett pointed out to me, we went down there. If you look at that second quarter, 22-3, that is really where everything is right now. They went on a 21-point lead, 22-point, stride to get them into this. I don't know, can you do the math? What math is that? This is so bad. I've had such a long day. How many points is that? 15. There it is, 15-point lead.
You got it eventually.
I did, oh my gosh.
Napoli gets it to Timmons, near corner, foul. Interesting thing to see on the lineup is Natalie Greenwood back on the court. She does have 3 personal fouls right now, so maybe has to be a bit more careful.
If I'm the Ozarks, especially Naomi Smith, I'm asking for the ball every time if she's guarding me.
Pass slipped
kind of taking
out of Greenwood's hands. So turnover by the Tigers. Yeah, you're right, 22-3 second quarter. That's crazy. I'll have to dig in and see when the last time the Tigers have ever kept any team to 3 points in a single quarter.
Yeah, and we talked about it too. We heard it from Caleb, but defensive intensity is one of those things that has really given them that offensive intensity as well.
The ball kind of plinkoed around a couple players, but in the Tigers' hands. Minter leading the charge right now, hands it off to Timmons. Napoli thought about the 3, instead dips and goes in. In the paint now, hands it off to Greenwood. She finds Minter, she works her way back out, now back in. Little layup goes! As the shot clock buzzer sounded, Kylie Minter said, "My people need me."
My people need me. Earlier today, her family kind of came up to us, and obviously she's kind of known by me as a little bit of a magician, Minter the magician, and I love seeing her come back here and show us all why she has that name.
Many times that throughout her career here at Trinity that she's pulled the proverbial rabbit out of the hat.
Oh yeah.
When the Tigers need it.
This is kind of connecting some of her play. I'm kind of going a little old school here. She reminds me a lot of Tisha Penichiro, which is an old WNBA player. A little bit of Becky Hammond, smaller guards, but obviously know how to use their body well. Can shoot from pretty much anywhere on the floor. Obviously a good facilitator, high IQ player as well.
Stays Tiger ball. One of the Eagles deflected it out of bounds. They find King, muscled, can't get it. It took a while for the whistle to be blown. I was like, hold on a second. Maybe I don't remember the boundaries, but.
Yeah.
No.
She knew she had the ball. It just got caught on that left hip. It was hard for her to reach around and kind of pass it back out.
Kind of lingered in the air for a moment before being called. Ozarks works it quick. Garcia down to Bean. Pressure goes up to ground. Now inside to Naomi Smith. And they're trying to get it to Smith again, but picked off by Napoli. A lot of turnovers by the Eagles. Out to Napoli on the straightaway in the paint. She wants to take it herself, and she does.
Wow, just textbook footwork. Really just had her defender reacting to everything, got that easy left-handed layup. But going back to the turnovers for the Ozarks, obviously almost got picked away by Bailey Timmons, but it's hard whenever you don't even get a shot up for an offensive possession. I know that we talk about finishing out possessions, but they're not even getting them or letting them get shots up, obviously from that different this last possession. It's the announcer thing. It's like the announcer curse. We always have a little something like that. It's like when we say someone's going to shoot a 3, they brick it, or they, you know.
Thrown in to Greenwood. Greenwood in the paint, kicks it out to Napoli. Her 3 is up and in! Josie Napoli is on fire right now. 43-23, a 20-point gap between the Eagles and Tigers.
Wow. She's just having herself a night, coming off a great 27-point game against Concordia. I think that's her third 3 of the night. Just trailed together 5 points in those last couple possessions. Obviously, definitely what you want to see coming out of your senior player. And they're working off well. I think a lot of that is coming off of, you know, this introduction of Natalie Greenwood into that starting lineup. I thought she was really poised catching it on that right block. You know, had her footwork pretty sound, and then made sure and found Napoli on that left wing, who was ready to let it fly.
We'll head back down to Caleb on the sideline. Caleb, what are you seeing of the Tiger performance right now?
Well, guys, first off, I'm seeing an absolutely fantastic offensive explosion compared to what we saw towards the start of the game. Trinity, of course, was down early. They've so far rallied the lead up big. 20 points is the lead now. But before the game, whenever we got to talk with Coach Cameron now, he mentioned kind of the depth that this Ozarks team possesses could kind of pose a little bit of a danger for the Trinity side. The bench is going to be something that they were really focused on coming in this game, and so far, that kind of extra attention has worked. During the first half, Ozarks only 6 points off of the bench. Trinity hopes to continue that as we continue in this second half.
Thank you, Caleb. The Tiger depth definitely coming in clutch, especially the performance of that second unit near the end of the first quarter kind of gave the entire team a boost heading into the second quarter.
Oh, most definitely. Some of those bench players, I think, were definitely the reason why the momentum has shifted. Once we got that lead change, which was only the second lead change of the game, we have maintained that, and I quite honestly don't foresee it changing anytime soon, but great observation.
Shot from the elbow. Does not roll in. It rolled for a while, but no luck for Naomi Smith. Naomi Smith, only 2 points. She is a walking double-double for the Eagles. Shot from Timmons doesn't go, and man, Greenwood played a ring around the rosy with a couple of Eagles there. Goes to show how strong she is.
She did. One thing I'm actually quite amazed by her game too. I think she's improved a lot as a player. Definitely become more poised, knows where she's at on the court, has good court awareness. And I think now she's becoming that facilitator, you know, kind of what Elaine King had done for such a long period of time, but making sure, you know, whenever you do see 2 defensive jerseys coming at you, she's looking out for any guards that are open on anywhere outside the arc.
Ground. And the Eagles go up the arc to Fisher, now back down. Grounds 3, no good. But offensive board by the Eagles. Bean launches it too strong. Smith bounces off the rim. Ball is loose. Greenwood tussling for it. It'll be another jump ball. Tigers will get it.
Natalie Greenwood being a part of those last 2 jump balls. Obviously, she has 3 fouls, and I think she did great in that last possession. Maintain vertical position, obviously get opportunities to definitely foul, but she did really good.
Tigers work it across the timeline as the Eagles wait for them on the other side of the court. Wayne King passing up to Napoli. She drives in against Bean, but kicked back out. Timmons has to take the 3. Instead, she kicks it back out to Napoli. No 3 attempt from her. Back to Timmons. 2 seconds on the shot clock. It is lost. But the ball bouncing around for a moment. Ozarks able to get control of it. Quick 3 is up, but not in. Ball is loose. It'll stay Eagles ball.
Timeout on the floor.
Timeout on the floor. Get a little stoppage and play right now. And I think one of the big differences right now, you talk about the improvement of Natalie Greenwood. I've kind of felt like a lot of the losses that this team took early on in the season was because maybe of a lack of defensive presence in the post. And the Tigers were getting beat by some really good post players early on.
I would actually combat your argument because I feel like Elaine King has been a big part of the reason why they've been pretty good defensively. I think what's killed a lot of people is, especially the Tigers, is like people just scoring outside in the three pretty often. I mean, if I'm a defensive player playing with Elaine King, I'm pushing them into the paint because she's been kept out of foul trouble for a pretty long time. This is us debating because we're both in a law class. But I would argue with you a little bit. I think with the addition of Natalie Greenwood, that's another thing that you have two people. It's not a bad thing. I will say Natalie Greenwood is definitely an addition to it. But early on, I think it was something else other than paint presence.
Oh, what I'm saying is, Elaine King can only do so much by herself in the post.
Yes. Okay.
And the Tigers played some really good multiple post players. Illinois Wesleyan was ultimately a three-point shooting contest. That one's not up for debate. But I mean, ETBU had two good post players.
Yeah.
And it was just a mismatch where you had either just King or just Greenwood in the paint to combat two post players. Led to a lot of struggles for the Tigers. And also offensively, having Greenwood increase her game from in the post has helped a lot too, because it does give more open shots to the players beyond the arc.
Yeah.
Quick score for Naomi Smith. Goes in to Minter, passing in to Napoli. Long pass, corner three from Timmons. Doesn't go. Board by Smith. And also with Greenwood, with that additional height, you do get to go up against those Zoe Tomlinsons of the world who aren't used to going up against someone that's taller than her.
Yeah. But even if, I know we talk about height, I feel like a reason why we beat Colorado College a while ago, even if it wasn't with huge post presence, was, and this is us kind of analyzing the Colorado game too, but we always caught her at the high post and, you know, forced her to be more of a facilitator rather than just catching it back to the basket. And she's pretty good at just going over left or right shoulder and finishing. But it was just making sure that you're doing the work early. And I think that's one thing that, you know, post players like Greenwood and Elaine King have done a pretty good job at.
Fisher getting 2 points for Ozarks. Tigers on a bit of a scoring drought right now. It's lasted about 3 minutes. O'Rourke quenches it. 45-29. Eagles down by 16. Quick three. No good from Bean. She scored a three in every game for the Ozarks this year. Has yet to do so today. Minter dances to her right, now passes to her left. O'Rourke at the top of the key, handing off to Scott. Down Napoli to her right, now backs up. Trying to push in. Three is up. No good for Timmons. Another thing, Coach Hill telling me that Elaine King plays very different when she's in the 4 rather than the 5.
She does, and I think I've noticed that, especially in that first half. What did he tell you that was a little different?
She just told me she's a completely different player.
He didn't, of course he didn't give too much. I think from my observation, I think that she's just more of a facilitator, and I know whenever they run their motion offense, so they're doing a little 4-round-1 with Natalie Greenwood in the paint, but she's, you know, outside with a 1-2-3, occupying space around the arc. But I can see how she can, I'm trying to get into the mind of Cameron Hill about what he thinks is so different. But yeah, I mean, I like the lineup change for sure. And we see some new faces on the court. Obviously, Jivy Caceres, Ivory Scott, Jalen Martin, Livy Savageau, and Sky O'Rourke stays in.
2 free throws for Delina Fisher. Looks at 45-31. Kick back out. Caceres is 3, no good. Just a bit too strong, bit offline as well. Ozarks needs to make the comeback. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Passing inside in the paint. Splashing around, Smith gets fouled.
Yeah, it's one of those moments. I've talked about it a couple times earlier this season. As soon as a ref sees one hand down, potentially on the hip or the back, that's going to be an automatic foul. And I know Ivory picked it up at the last second, but As soon as they see that one hand on the body, they're going to call it.
Right now, Ozarks has 11 turnovers, which has resulted in 18 points for the Tigers. Ozarks does not lose the ball very often. They're third in the nation in turnovers per game. They only allow 12.1 turnovers from themselves per game, and they're already at 11.
It's that Tiger defense. It's the ambush.
Saw something similar with Illinois Wesleyan, which is another team that didn't like to lose the ball much. And
Oh, yeah, I think combined they had 50 turnovers. Illinois Wesleyan had 25. I think what they averaged 12 or 13 usually, which is, you know, obviously a pretty good average. But that game was just an odd one. That one was just an odd game defensively.
Savageau gets the pick off, trying to shoulder her way in, loses the ball. Cáceres, nice flip over to Sky O'Rourke. Oh, but it rolls out, but saved by the Tigers. Jalen Martin gets the second chance.
Kind of felt like she passed it to herself or tipped it to herself for a second there, but great steal by Livy Savageau. Good attempt by Sky O'Rourke, and obviously great finish by Jalen Martin.
Working in, now kicks back out to Bean in the corner. See, it goes to Bean. It's up and in.
Yeah, that backside help just wasn't there.
Oh, but Savageau's alone up front. That's easy points for the Tigers for Livy Savageau. 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Quick pull-up jumper, swish for Jaslyn Marsh. But Jalen Martin way open again, as Tigers have pulled that trick 2 times now.
And right now, you can't just be going tit for tat. You know, you got to make sure that you're getting stops on defense. But obviously, great job, Ivory Scott, pushing the ball up as soon as she sees a white jersey out front. It's a good thing it's not soccer. It's no offsides.
Airmail for the shot. Savageau passes to Cáceres, her 3. It doesn't go. Strong, though. Scott with the offensive board draws the foul.
Great job, Ivory Scott, getting that rebound, maintaining good body position, found her way around into the middle. Obviously got fouled. 5 seconds left. Ozarks still have a lot of time to get it down the floor and get a shot up.
University of the Ozarks, located in Clarksville, Arkansas. Despite that fact, only 1 player from Arkansas on the roster. That is Abby Bean, who's from Benton.
I feel like it's really different from a lot of Texas D3s who recruit mainly within their region. Obviously, we have some players from out of state, but yeah.
It's mostly Oklahoma on the roster. It's a couple of Texas players.
Ivory just went 2 for 2 from the line.
See if one last shot can be gotten off. Thrown up. Oh, off the rim. But no good. It was a good attempt by Naomi Smith. End of the third quarter, Tigers up 53-37.
I wasn't going to do the math. Wow. Great finish. Obviously kind of felt like the first quarter. We slowed down a little bit, I think, offensively, but found good momentum. Again, with that second group coming in, he kind of just went 5 in for 5 out. But good finish. From the people that are on the bench, I'm pretty sure he's going to start the fourth quarter with the same people that were just on as well, and then probably finish out with those starters and then see who else is going to come up in the lineup later in the game. But I kind of like this new thing that Cameron Hill's doing. You know, they found momentum, let them finish it out, see what they can get them into in the fourth quarter. I hadn't seen many transition. It's kind of rare sometimes in college, unless you're getting like a breakaway dunk in the men's game, but to have a transition offense like that where you just toss it up, and obviously Livy Savageau and Jalen Martin finish on that left side, but really happy to see that, you know, pushing the ball, getting out, running your lanes. It was good.
Head coach for University of the Ozarks, Shauna Watson, in her 3rd season at the helm of the Eagles. Looking to make the SCAC tournament. SCAC is, as Coach Hill told me, the most competitive it has ever been.
Oh, most definitely.
Told me he can't remember a time where, other than the Tigers, there have been 3 really complete teams that can potentially make deep runs in the NCAA tournament. Of course, I think he's referring to Colorado College, Texas Lutheran, and McMurray.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, 2 out of those 3 are in the Tigers division, so
I was about to say.
Tigers will see them plenty of times. I haven't played TLU yet, though.
No, but they'll play them for 2 weeks straight. It'll be good. It'll be good. You know, everybody is peaking kind of at the right times. Everybody's adjusting their lineups, seeing what's going to happen. But I feel like anything can happen tournament time, and you really never know. But I feel like now the Tigers they're starting off on a good foot into the second half of the SCAC.
39-53. Ozarks looking to string a couple points together. Kelsey Ground has to back up. Hands it off to Marsh. She drives in, kicks it out. Bean, Euro step, no good, but offensive board. Fisher gets it to Smith, quick shot, no good. Board by Ivory Scott. Tigers run it down. Savageau loses control for a moment, gets punched away, she recollects. Scott passes to her right to Sky O'Rourke. O'Rourke trying to spin around. Finally gets it to Savageau, her intended target, now to Scott. She rushes in, ball is slapped away. It'll be Tiger ball still.
5 seconds left.
Caceres will be the one to inbound it. See who they go to. They find Martin.
Ah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Martin stepped out. Indeed she did. The season ended today. Your tournament teams would be Colorado College, Ozarks, St. Thomas, TLU, McMurray, and Trinity. A bit more competitive in the blue division where Ozarks is located. The gold division, there is a gap between the top three and the bottom three. Ball is lost, Tiger ball. As Trinity, the third place team in the gold division, is 3 games ahead of Southwestern, who is sitting at 4th. Meanwhile, for Ozarks, who's the second place team, had 2 from the 4th place, which is Austin College. Now, a lot of basketball to play.
Ivory Scott stepped out of bounds.
That has happened a odd amount of times for both sides. Like we've had a couple step out of bounds
Yeah.
calls today.
Court awareness is hard. It is.
Ground drives inside, gets the foul.
I'm assuming they're going to call that one on Sky O'Rourke, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, they do not. It's a good thing I didn't put money on it. It was on Ivory Scott.
Well, complete line change about to come on for the Tigers as your starters head back out. Important thing for Josie Napoli. She had already had 1,000 points in her career, but she got 1,000 points as a Tiger over the road trips.
Nice. Always good to hit a milestone.
1K points.
That's hard. That's hard. Good for her.
And she only had 3 years to do it as a Tiger. Makes it even more impressive. Minter leading the charge right now. Hands it off to Napoli. She works to her left. Passes to her right to Minter. Dribbling the ball. Now back to Napoli. Oh, sweet pass into King. Kicked back out to Timmons. She dodges her defender.
Oh, I wanted that one to
finish it
go in
off.
so bad.
Yeah, she really hit the spin cycle there.
Yeah.
Or if you're playing Madden or NCAA, she hit the circle button. 3-pointer for Kelsey Ground. 53-44, single-digit lead for the Tigers.
Obviously, game isn't put away yet. Tigers definitely don't want to play with some complacency.
Greenwood muscles in.
They're going to call that one a charge. Wow. All right, that's her 4th one. Has one more to play with, 7 minutes left. I don't know if Cameron Hill is going to give her a sub or not. But definitely found herself in a predicament. It's a lot of time left on the clock.
Some quick work by Ozarks. Shot by Fisher doesn't go. Greenwood there to collect. Quick in transition are the Tigers. Pass down to Timmons. Hands it off to Napoli. She goes up the arc. Find Timmons in the near side corner. She drives into the paint. Her shot just a bit too shy. Ball was loose on the floor, picked up by Marsh. Quick 3 is up No good.
Oh, almost a foul.
Timmons and the Tigers still staying quick in transition. The pass, a little too much heat in that pass. Greenwood tried to corral it with one hand.
Yeah. Good intention, just, you're right, a lot of heat on it.
Now, Ozarks getting set in their offense.
I don't know if there's just felt like there's been an energy shift since the Ozarks have just been scoring.
Garcia almost lost the ball. Pass it to her left, now up. Ground, just too strong, up and over the rim. Napoli, wide open three. Was a bit offline. Boarded by Smith. Naomi Smith. Hand it off to Marsh, now to her right to Bean. Back to Marsh. They find Kelsey ground again up top. Eagles passing it around. Bean will try and drive in. That's swish. I think you kind of saw from Greenwood a little hesitation. She had her arm kind of extended to block, but
Yeah.
almost pulled away a little.
Yeah,
Didn't want to draw a foul and get sent off.
that gives them a 7-point lead now.
Whistle blown.
Huh. Okay, that's going to be on number 2. She's going to call for holding Natalie Greenwood as she was fighting for position.
Right, Minter will inbound it for the Tigers. Trying to find an open player, but difficult. Napoli breaks away. Minter goes in, back out.
Another foul being called. They're going to collect it on the baseline, I'm assuming, because it was below the free throw line.
Marsh that got tagged for that holding call. Napoli will inbound it this time. Find Timmons.
Wow,
Open shot is in.
that's just speedy footwork. Saw that her defender kind of turned her head. Great read.
Yeah, well run play. Near corner with Bean. Passes up to Marsh. Nice pass inside. It goes in for Lily Garcia. Some good work by the Eagles right now, 55-48. Wow, that pass ends up to the player on the floor.
A steal on the floor. Wow.
Now, you don't see that too often. Just kind of ended up in her hand.
I feel like strange things happen here in CalGuard. You never see 4-point plays. Always happens here.
A lot of fouls beyond the arc this season, both here and on the road, especially for the men. Trying to get it to Minter. Too many cooks in the kitchen, however. Ozarks will see what they have cooking now. Passed out. Naomi Smith. Near corner, three is up. No good. Bean still looking for a three. Still coming up. No good. Thrown
Good
in.
slip.
And Natalie Greenwood
Wow.
there to pick up the second chance points.
Good action. Good offensive set. Looked like there was going to be a little bit of a double set screen. Elaine King slashed pretty hard. Obviously, Kylie Minter found her pretty good. Couldn't finish the first one, but good collection by Natalie Greenwood, who's playing with 4 fouls right now, and about a minute and a half under the 5-minute mark, 3.5 minutes left to play. A lot can change coming out of the Ozarks bench right now. I don't know if Cameron Hill may want to switch it up. They're settled down into a 2-3 zone, but obviously, you know, the Ozarks are shooting well.
Send it down to Caleb Reed. Caleb, what are you seeing in these last couple of minutes for this game?
Well, guys, during the quarter break, I got to kind of sit in on the bench again, kind of listen in to what Coach Hill was saying, and the big thing that he was saying, guys, this transition offense that we are running right now is working great. The best thing that he's seen so far tonight, seeing and watching how basically every player is just responding after shots. They're seeing the shot go up, and they are immediately getting back and getting ready to be back on the ball. And the shooters especially kind of gave a little bit of a word of encouragement. He said, hey guys, just remember, every time that you take a shot, you've got all of us behind you right here. So don't feel like you guys need to be doing it all yourselves. Make sure to lean on your teammates, make sure to lean on your team, and we are going to be able to keep this up. So far, Trinity able to keep up this kind of offensive and defensive intensity that we have seen throughout the second half.
Thank you, Caleb.
All right, here we go.
Important thing to note, the timeouts each side have left. Trinity having 4, and Ozarks, according to Redactronics, having 1. And on the graphic now, just a moment for stats people to update it. Goes up. Eagles needing to cut deeper into this deficit. Tigers have had a good arm lengths approach when it comes to holding this lead. Bean ricochets it in.
Good footwork, really patient.
Minter looks to her right. It's a number 3 on number 3 action now. Number 0 on number 3. As Napoli drives in, kicks it out to Timmons. Back out. Minter thought about a 3, hesitates. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Timmons shot, doesn't go, but offensive board by the Tigers, and good play by Kylie Minter. She hits it off an Eagle.
They're going to call the foul, actually. They called the foul. That one's going to be on Jaslyn Marsh. And there's going to be a 20-second shot clock reset. Napoli taking it out pretty much in the dead corner.
Gets it into King. Brown passes out to Timmons. To her left, to her right. Ooh, slips through the hands of Napoli, but she's quick to recollect. Drives in the paint, circles around, her shot doesn't go. A lot of traffic in front of Napoli. Made it difficult for a shot. No good from Marsh, who ran down the lane and put one up. Eagles trying to work a bit quicker.
Ball slowed down by Josie Napoli. I thought she was thinking about driving for a hot second there. But under 2 minutes left, 7-point lead. She'll go to the line for 2. It's getting to the fouling territory for the Eagles. I don't know if they're going to wait till maybe a little closer. Maybe in the next possession they may start fouling. She has the opportunity to make this a 9-point game. For all we know, this next minute and 45, minute and 47 can turn into like 5 more minutes. Just because of the fouling game that may happen.
9-point lead for the Tigers. Ozarks running out of time. Is a comeback that can still be made.
It has to happen out of this one, though. Like, they have to make sure they have to score in this possession.
Bean tries to pass it in. Shot is up. No good from Smith. Board by Scott.
They're going to let him go.
Yeah, defensive breakdown a little bit by Ozarks. Now everything's set up as the Tigers start to kill the clock a bit.
I'm surprised they're waiting this long.
Now driving back in. Passed out. 3 is up for Scott, and good! Ivory Scott with the potential dagger for Ozarks.
Yeah, that kind of felt like the last nail in the coffin.
Too strong of a 3. Bean, second chance, draws the foul.
That was a hard foul by Bailey Timmons, too. I was like, she knew it. She's like, yeah, I'm going to go for this.
On the court for University of the Ozarks is Kelsey Ground. First free throw, no good by Bean. Sophomore out of Benton, Arkansas. Shot goes in. Pass inside to the paint quick. A block given.
Huh.
King went up and had the ball slapped away.
Link King doesn't look around to refs very often. And for her to kind of look around and maybe question that one a little bit. I believe her. I believe her.
The fans definitely wanted a call there. But Tigers will waste some more time. Yep, foul called. Head to the charity stripe, does Napoli.
Smith is real close to that double-double, 8 and 10. I don't know if she'll get it tonight. It's only 34 seconds left in the clock. Josie Napoli is going to head to the line for 2. She just went 2 for 2 in her last one. She'll connect the first one.
Abby Bean's hometown, Benton, not to be confused with my hometown of Bentonville. Very different. One has the headquarters of Walmart. The other does not.
And we have the daughter of Walmart, right, Walton? She graduated from Trinity. We have a Trinity alum who's a part of the Walmart family.
She has like a, she has a scholarship named after her.
She
or
does,
something.
yes, yeah.
For business, I'm pretty sure.
Something like
Some
that.
business scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's weird. I can't avoid the Waltons no matter where I go.
You can't.
Waltons built my high school's football field.
I didn't know. You just have so much lore that's just in your mind. That's awesome.
It's pretty nice. Well, before it was not so nice.
I'm surprised they don't have a building. Do they have a building here?
What, a Walton, like a Walton building?
Yeah, like we have styrene and we have...
No, there's not a Walton anything. That is a bit surprising.
Right?
But I know Walton's financed that and like new baseball and softball complex.
Huh.
Before then, our high school played at like a local park.
Yeah.
The old field still looks the exact same from when they left it too. Like the old Bentonville Tiger logo's on there. And the old Bentonville Tiger logo is like ancient.
Yeah.
Is really old.
Yeah. So you went from a Tiger high
Tiger
school.
to Tiger.
I came from a Bobcat high school, so.
All
and I'm a cat person too. I'm staying in the cat family.
All my schools have had mascots. Like even my elementary school, we were the Gators.
That's cool. One of the coolest mascots ever now that I know of is the Unicorns.
New Braunfels, right?
Yeah.
See, I know that one.
I would love to be a unicorn.
Napoli will dribble. A round of applause for this women's basketball team as they dish out a victory for the fans. 64-51 over the University of the Ozarks. A strong victory by the Tigers. They took a good lead at the end of the first half, and they just never lost it.
Yeah, no, after that second lead change, they never looked back. That second quarter really just blasted them through. What was it, a 22-3 game? I mean, I want to say the end result of this game was definitely a part of that second quarter, and a lot of it was coming off of Cameron Hill's adjustments. I really appreciated how he kept people in from that first half, let them gain momentum in that second half, and I think that's ultimately what got them, that lead change in that second quarter when the starters came back in and just extended it. Kylie Minter, who came in, I think she went 3 for 3 in that second quarter, and then obviously too, Josie Napoli, she did as well. She's finished with 15, 3 for 9 from the field. Good 3-point shooting game for the upperclassmen today. Obviously Bailey Timmons too came out with great possessions, defensive and offensive. In my mind, there's a little behind the back moment she did to save the ball.
Some stats for you before we go. Josie Napoli, 15 points. Kylie Minter, 16. Bailey Timmons, 10. 3 players reaching double digits, all very effective. Josie Napoli, 5 assists, led the team. And for rebounds, Natalie Greenwood with 8, doing her job in the post. For University of the Ozarks, Selena Fisher, only one to break double digits with 11 points. Very evenly spread out between all the players that came on for the Ozarks.
Yeah.
Abby Bean at 9, Kelsey Brown at 7, Naomi Smith, Lily Garcia, and Jaslyn Marsh all had 8.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the stats right now. There's not many players that went into this game compared to what we saw, you know, on our end when we're looking at our screen. We really just had everybody pretty much on the bench. I mean, we hit double digits, I think, for players, or, you know, players that went in today for Trinity. And that's a big thing that we're going to see, you know, kind of carry on into these next couple games into SCAC. You know, how deep our bench is. And we had Livy Savage who had 7 points. You know, stuff like that, it makes a lot, you know, it means a lot when you're coming into playoff time or, you know, postseason. So, yeah.
Fisher had a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Naomi Smith barely missing out. She had 10 rebounds, but couldn't get to double-digit points. For University of the Ozarks, they will continue their road trip. We'll head to Shriner on Sunday, February 2nd. That is a noon tip. So Ozarks fans, tune in to that one on Flow Sports. Take on the Mountaineers. For all you Tiger fans out there, first of all, stay tuned for the men's game coming up against Ozarks. That goes for both sides. But Trinity will stay at home tomorrow, February 1st at 4 o'clock. They'll tip off against Centenary. That'll be a good game as well. For everyone who worked today's game, thank you very much. For Annika Science and Josh Machugemba, who makes it all happen. I've been Reed Results for the Tiger Network, and we'll see you in 30 minutes for the men's edition of Trinity versus University of Ozarks.